Lately, I've been feeling kind of stuck. Ow. Stuck in a negative cycle where I keep filming the same video over and over again. Testing. Okay, hi again. Okay, I'm starting for real now. Why is this so hard sometimes? And when I'm editing, nothing feels quite right. To the point, I started to doubt myself and question whether I was even a creative person. It just felt like nothing I made was good enough to put out there into the world. Last spring, something similar happened when I was making my last video. At the time, I took a much-needed break and went on a trip with my friend Fionn. She was the one who pulled me out of the hole I dug for myself. She told me about this essay she read where she couldn't remember the author, so if you know, let me know because it's been driving us nuts. Anyways, so in this essay, the author writes about this phenomenon that happens to other writers, where they'll spend years and years writing a book and pour a lot of time and energy into it, only to want to restart when they're close to the end. And the reason this happens is because after writing for so long, they themselves have changed as a result of the process. They've learned new skills, learned new things about who they are, and might approach the book differently altogether. But the fallacy is that if you always give in to that urge, well, you'll never have a book. So Fionn reminded me to let things go, to accept that things will never be perfect, and that we're all a work in progress. These days, I don't get to see her as often since she moved away, but we still find ways to keep in touch. Her advice got me through my last video, but somehow this time it felt different. I was doing the same things as I was half a year ago, but this time, for some reason, the more I tried, the more frustrated I got with myself. I think this time it felt different because I had this additional expectation in my head that the next video I made had to be better. And I don't even know what better really means, but I felt like when I was editing and filming and redoing the scripts and stuff, I felt like it was not getting better. Like I felt like it was getting worse. And because I had all this additional pressure and expectation on myself, it made me then feel paralyzed. And I was just stuck in this cycle where I was like redoing things and scrapping things and then not feeling motivated. And I think it all stems from the fact that over time, I developed this unrealistic expectation of what progress is supposed to look like, that progress is something that is always moving at a constant rate that's like incremental. Like the more you put in, the better you get. It's not always necessarily like that, but because I had built it up like that, then I felt this urgency to quickly learn and quickly produce, especially when I would then look on YouTube and like watching videos on how to better storytell and how to better use your camera and filming and cinematography and stuff. And I think oftentimes when I am watching these videos, I feel inspired because I realize there's just so much to learn and there's so much to grow in. But I think sometimes when I'm in a bad headspace, that inspiration and excitement can quickly turn sour. And then in the end, I just feel inadequate and that I'm so far from where I want to be that is it even worthwhile putting something out there if I know that there are so many people that are better at it than I am? And I know people always talk about how when you're learning anything, it can get really painful because your taste quickly outgrows your abilities. I actually ended off this year in a pretty bad headspace. I felt like there were all these things I wanted to do in 2024, and I felt like I only made a dent in that list. But then a friend was actually telling me about these reflections she does every year at the end of the year, and one of the first tasks it tells you to do is actually to write down everything you accomplished that year. As I was doing the reflections, I realized I made a lot of progress, and even though some of my goals were really unrealistic about what I would achieve, I felt like I actually made a good dent in them. It might have been a small dent, but that's more than doing nothing at all. And I think that should be celebrated. I think sometimes when I get in the headspace of feeling like, oh, I'm so far from being good and that I'm not making any progress at all, I feel paralyzed and I don't end up doing anything. And then I feel bad about myself. But 2025 is a new year. I think this year I'm going to reframe my mind and redefine what progress is supposed to look like. Instead of thinking that it has to look and feel a certain way, I'm actually going to just say that progress, for me at least, is trying, because trying is something that I can control, and to focus on the small wins, focusing on learning and just doing what I enjoy doing rather than putting all this pressure on myself that I need to learn so quickly or that I need to get better so quickly. Things are never as easy as they seem. Things always take longer than we think. And that by reframing that my focus is just trying, I think it'll make me feel a lot better. And that, as long as I'm trying and putting in the effort, that's all that really matters. And to trust that over time, the results will come, even if it feels super slow. Anyways, that's all I have for this video. If you made it all the way here, just want to say thank you so much for watching. I also want to say that I'm so grateful for all the support on my last video. I was really nervous. I almost didn't go through with posting it at all. And so I was just so blown away by all the support in the comments, and I just felt so touched and moved by the warmth of everyone. And I just want to wish everyone else good luck with whatever you're pursuing. I will see you in the next one. I can't promise that it'll be really soon because who knows if I'll get caught up in my anxiety. So anyways, bye.